Towards the net, blocked down in front, rebound, scores! Evan Oakley, here's Farmer on a breakaway, Farmer scores! Short-handed break, Benzine in on Zevnik, oh, and a great left pad save there, shot deflected, they score! Collins stops short-handed!
You're listening to Wildcats Hockey, presented by Armored Roofing on the Wildcats Broadcast Network.
It's a case of better late than never here from the Ector County Coliseum as the Wildcats are in the midst of a hard-fought contest against the Odessa Jackalopes. Ben Horner here with you from Odessa, Texas. We apologize for those technical difficulties in the first period. We believe they should be sorted out now as we will enter the second period. Let's get your recap as to how we got here. The Wildcats opened up the first period strong, had a couple of good looks and drew a power play. However, from that point on, most of the first period was controlled by the Odessa Jackalopes, and they made that pressure pay about halfway through that middle frame, as Ian Mansfield executed an inch-perfect give-and-go with Christian Hausinger at the point and went upstairs over the right shoulder of Austin Shaw. That made it 1-0. Although the Wildcats were fairly quick to answer, and once they got a goal to tie it up, they really did look like they were the stronger team. Nick Farmer was the guy to get the goal. It was an unassisted breakaway. Farmer, no stranger to breakaways in this building, had a similar play last year. Tonight, today I should say, as we have not even hit noon yet, it was a nice outlet pass from the Wildcats defensive zone. Farmer kicked it into high gear with a nice puck protect job here as he gained the zone and reached the top of the circle. And then he just flipped it under the left hand of Robin Johansson. That made it 1-1. That's Farmer's 5th goal of the year and his 3rd in the last 2 contests. As we will get back to the second period of action, it will be Wildcats starting off the period on a power play, 45 seconds of carryover penalty time. They'll be skating from left to right across your screen in this period, Q to P across your keyboard. Coming back the other way are the Jackalopes, skating from right to left. That's P to Q across your keyboard. Ben Horner with you. We're at the Ector County Coliseum as a belated start to our Tuesday morning edition of Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. Shots on goal in that first period, 15-9 in favor of Odessa. The Cats looked a bit overwhelmed by their speed in the offensive zone a few instances in that opening frame. A good cycle game going by Odessa in the early stages of this contest. We'll see if the Cats can adjust to that, shut that down a little bit, and start to establish some control, some tempo. I talked with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine before the game on Monday evening, and he talked about controlling the tempo being a key to this contest. So we'll see if the Cats are able to do it here. So, carryover penalty time is up on the boards. 45 seconds to Matt Baranek, serving the balance of a hooking minor from the end of the first period. It'll be Farmer to take the draw here for the Cats. The puck is down, and we're underway in the second period, brought to you by American Classified as right off the draw. This is brought forward by Kevin Sherizan. He'll gain the zone on the left wing wall. Sherizan gets to the corner, slams on the break. Backhand pass up to the top of the right circle. Yeager down low for Litviak. Yeager back shot save there by Johansson. Kicked out in front. Litviak stashes down low. Farmer looking to skate behind. Now we'll put on the brakes in the corner. He gives to Sherizan. Litviak in front. Yeager at the point. Sherizan shot blocked there. Litviak on the rebound. Behind the net. Here's Litviak setting up. Sent in front there looking for Farmer's second of the game. And he couldn't get a stick to it. And it's sent all the way down the ice. 10 seconds remaining in the Cats' power play. Yeager has possession. Gains the blue line. Yeager left it behind. Now sweeps below the goal line. As we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. As out of the box is Matt Baranek. Boyu couldn't hold the zone, and we'll get a delayed whistle on the delayed offside as APAP touches up with 48 seconds played in this second period. 1-1 the score. Ian Mansfield the goal for Odessa. His second of the year. He missed a good chunk of time in the beginning of the season on the injured reserve. Face off in the neutral zone in front of the Wildcats bench area. Dan Baricha, the linesman, backing everyone up there. That was Beaulieu, and I believe that was Jesse Gentilla who got a talking to. Off the face-off, Valamont back to collect for Odessa. Put under pressure here by Colin Staub. Staub trying to work it away from him. In the corner, they'll battle for it, but nicely taken away here by Valamont. Lane Valmont will move this one ahead. Here's Trent Williams. Williams chips this one towards the far side corner. First to it here for the Wildcats was Apap. Played behind the net where Townsend has. Fishes it right out in front for Beaulieu, and Beaulieu will look to motor ahead. Here's Beaulieu off to the right wing side and Stop. Stop at the circle. Stop sends it in front, and it was behind Beaulieu who had overskated it as an outlet pass is knocked down in the neutral zone by the Cats. Continuing with the play, however, here's Odessa, but heeding the call for a change on the far side was Leo Lum. Townsend with some pressure there behind the net, trying to poke this one along for Beaulieu. Works up to the half wall. The Cats can't work it loose. Beaulieu punches at it. Apap digs for it. Lost in some skates. Apap has a stick tied up, as now it's behind the net of Shaw for Townsend to move it along to Chernyuk. Chernyuk, in his first game in Wichita Falls, an affiliate defenseman, looking to send it out in front are the Jackalopes. So it is sticked away there by Staub from Derek Brown. Staub banks it off the boards and down. No icing here. Cats are going to try and start up a change here that might get caught, as here is Andrew McLean. He'll give it along back, and it's played in deep there by Christian Hausinger. Knight behind his own net to take it, and it's touched off the wall. Nice play there by Lazarus to get it to Subri, who works it along to Reisinger. Reisinger on his backhand, forced to the corner now. Loses out, but coming along to support was Subri. Behind the net now it's Lazarus. To the far side and Cook. Cook shields off the check from Kenny Hausinger, sends it through the crease, nobody there, as Reisinger was the closest to it. Reisinger the first to it here on the near side half wall, just outside the circle. Lazarus comes along, plays it up to the point in Matt Cook. Cook, near side for Reisinger, and he had his stick tied up. Lazarus picks up the loose puck off the back wall. Reisinger with it once more near side. Backdoor pass. Finds Lazarus to Matt Cook towards the net. His shot blocked there. Now it's a foot race here as Jesse Gentile will put Cam Knight under some pressure. Knight retreats to the safety of his own end. Plays it off the back wall for Cook. Cook sweeps it up the glass, but not out. Subri coming along to help out and try and work it free as this is brought forward by the Wildcats. Sharazin blown up off the play, but he was able to work the puck into the neutral ice. Inside 3 minutes played here in the second period in a 1-1 hockey game in Odessa. Albrecht looks to bring it forward for the Cats and does. Here's Albrecht, top of the left circle. His shot through the blue paint and out the other side. Nobody there to corral it and send it home. Farmer pokes it away from Wax and Enbach. Enbach retains possession, gives it on to Soji. His shot in and out of the glove of Shaw. Kuzmeski the first to it here for Wichita Falls. He'll bump it back for Cam Knight. Knight bumps back along to Kuzmeski. Here's Shane Kuzmeski. Pass nicely taken there by Farmer, but he lost out as it skipped over his stick. Gaining the zone, here's Wax and Enbach. Wax and Enbach. Pass, shot, save. Puck is loose there, and Shaw covers up. The centering feed was off the left inside of the left pad of Austin Shaw and just sat in the blue paint dangerously for a moment. He was able to cover up, and we get a whistle. 16-18 remaining in a tie contest here in the second period. 1-1 the score. Mansfield for Odessa, Farmer for the Wildcats in the first is where we stand. Cats power play 0 for 2 on the contest thus far, however. Slap shot right off the draw on a left pad save, and a follow-up one-timer doesn't get all the way through. That stung Evan Oakley, who is out there with Yeager and Litviak. Little line shuffle, shot goes wide of the cage. Follow-up chance, and it's blocked down, coming from the stick of Alamont. First of this one here for Odessa, it's Hampus Shodal, works to the neutral zone, now it's a foot race. Here is Yeager, has Oakley in the middle. Yeager with a shot and a blocker save there by Johansson. Nice job here is Litviak. Litviak for Yeager. Yeager lost it just momentarily. Oakley can't disrupt the play, and Odessa looks to skate out, but it's on the stick of Oakley. Oakley, his pass, trying to find Litviak blindly at the blue line, intercepted here, and Odessa will look to move it forward. It's poked in behind the cage of Shaw by Chad Gadarian, who will come to the bench for a change. Shane Kuzmeski has some trouble with it here, pulls it away from Gadarian, and rather that was Hampus Shodal, and works it along to the near side. It's Falconer. Bumps it softly off the wall. The Wildcats are able to retain possession, and it's up ahead to Oakley. Here's Oakley right circle. His shot well wide of the cage. Litviak takes it on the far side half wall. Touch back near side as he'll come to the bench for a change. No Wildcats are there in the neighborhood as Andrew McLean picks it up for the Jacks, gives it along to his D partner, and they look to skate forward. Gaining the zone here is Odessa. Shot saved by Shaw, and he'll cover up the rebound. And we'll get a little bit extra here as Baranek, already with one penalty to his tally tonight, gives a little extra shot to somebody after the whistle. 14:54 remaining in the third period. Wildcats and Odessa deadlocked at a goal apiece. Wildcats, when tied after one period of play, are 4-2-0 this year, and we're tied after the first period. 2 of the 3 contests against Amarillo. Their most recent action. They were off last weekend, of course. Stuff will be to the left of Shaw whenever we get back to it. A little conversation with Krasnichuk, the referee, and the scorer's table, and now both coaches. I think just giving them a warning to remind them to keep their guys in check. So we'll get back to it here. APAP will take the draw for the Wildcats as this one is tied up in the circle, but APAP wins it forward. APAP still with it, fighting through some checks. Now Beaulieu slings it cross ice. Here's Stop. Nice saucer pass, finds Colin. Colin gets around his man Soji, sends it in front. Beaulieu tied up. APAP, it's sent just wide, and Stop can't put it home on the back door. Johansson was flipping and flopping all the way around, but the Cats couldn't get it past him. On the far side, Beaulieu kicks it towards the cage as his stick got tangled up in the legs of Christian Hausinger, as this is a delayed penalty on. Cook will hustle over, he'll touch up, and we'll get the whistle. And the Wildcats will be shorthanded for the first time this afternoon. 14-18 remaining in the second period. 1-1 the score. Odessa will head to their first penalty, or their first power play of the evening. They're 13 for 79 on the power play this year. That's 16.5%. Wildcats on the PK, 55 for 63 on the year. That's 87.3%, good for fifth best in the league. However, the Cats' penalty kill over the last 7 games have killed off 27 of 28. Loose puck, unable to corral and fling it all the way down was Oakley, as this is held in here by Christian Hausinger. He'll swerve it down low. Showed all the first to it here for Odessa. Bumps along, and this one skitters out under the stick of Christian Hausinger and all the way down. Johansson will step out of his crease to lead this one along here for Christian Hausinger. Rather, Andrew McLean up ahead to Waxen Enbach. Waxen Enbach has some trouble with it as Farmer will force him back deep. Good hack there by Oakley. Waxen Enbach evades, moves forward. Here's Engbach with speed. Engbach still in front, scores! Coast-to-coast rush on the power play by Waxen Enbach. None of the Wildcats wanted to do anything to stop him, and they trail 2-1. Power play goal from Waxen Engbach. He was allowed to walk on in uncontested. And is now 2-1 Odessa, as the Cats are still trying to find their legs here in this 11 a.m. start. Danced around 2 and 3 guys to get into the zone. No good from the Wildcats. Back to it here. 13:33 remaining in the second period as Chernyuk plays this one into the neutral zone. First to it here is Ian Mansfield. Mansfield bumps off the wall. Chernyuk fights through the check, chips it forward. Thought about going after it. Instead, I will retreat back to the blue line as a pass up the wall is in the skates of the linesman. Still in the neutral zone. They'll jam away for it, trying to work it into the zone. The Jackalopes, delayed offside. They'll tag up as it's on the stick of Andrew McLean at the red line. Shot easily blockered up into the air by Shaw to settle it down for Townsend. Townsend back behind the net for Chernyuk. Chernyuk off to the far side in Lazarus. Caroms into the neutral zone. It's forced up front by Subri. Line shuffle here as it's Lazarus, Reisinger, and Subri as Oakley has switched spots with Lazarus and is now playing with Yeager and Litviak. We'll get a whistle here. 12:52 remaining in the second period. Wildcats trailing 2-1 on Waxen Enbach's power play goal. His 6th goal of the year. Farmer will take the draw for the Wildcats just outside the offensive zone of Odessa. One here by Waxen Enbach. Slap shot, easily knocked aside here by Shaw. He'll leave it along for Matt Cook. The goal goes to Waxen Enbach unassisted. 6:20 of the second period as this is Sherazin and Farmer trying to work the puck free. Behind the net, it's along for Cam Knight. Knight will spin away from the forechecking Rasberg and turns up ice. Knight, pass through the middle, hits Sherazin. Sherazin gains the zone, now takes it wide. Here's Sherazin at the left wing wall. Sherazin behind the net, now goes behind with it. He's ridden off it legally so, and Jesse Gentilla picks up for Odessa. Up ahead to Waxen Enbach. He'll gain the red line and chip it in deep. First of this one here is Odessa as Rasberg left it behind there. Knight jabs at this one. It comes right back onto his stick, and he'll bump softly along for Matt Cook. Cook lunges at this one, forced it along to Cam Knight. It's worked up ahead as here's Farmer on his backhand, pitching it in deep as the Cats are in the midst of a change. Albrecht in on the forecheck here as Yeager and Oakley step out on this shift. Turned over, here's Oakley on his backhand. Now his forehand shot sent up high into the air and knocked away to the far side corner. Oakley and Yeager can't win this one. Held in by Cherniak at the left point, though. Played it to the middle looking for Litviak. It was in front of him, and this is cleared into the neutral ice. Townsend chops at it. Litviak can't work it loose. It's in the defensive zone of the Jackalopes as Balamont plays it along to a teammate there. Cleared off the head of Oakley and caroms along to the near side. Balamont will try this one once more. Along to Jake Hamilton. Hamilton out, but only as far as Yeager, who works it up ahead to Litviak. Litviak tries to bump off the wall looking for Oakley. It's sent right back into the neutral zone as Balamont gave it up to Townsend. Here's Townsend gaining the zone. Nice toe drag. Here's Townsend again. Shot safe. Puck is loose at the top of the crease, and sticking it away there was Johansson. Motoring ahead, here's Kenny Hausinger. He'll get to the blue line and chip it in deep. Take a bump from Litviak and go in on the forecheck as here is Townsend. Spinning away from some pressure, but turning it over. Rolls out the back of the cage. It's loose out in front and stashed just wide, coming from the stick of Derek Brown. Up to the blue line. Held in there nicely by Tim Falconer. Off to the half wall where Brown will spin it behind the cage of Shaw. Townsend the first to it here. He'll work it along to Yeager. Yeager off to the far side in Oakley, who gets to the red line. Oakley will come to the bench for a change, but not before chipping this one in deep. Litviak, near side, shoved down hard from behind. He maintains his fight for the puck. Kuzmeski steps forward. Kuzmeski has it, has his pocket picked. Beaulieu with a toe drag shot saved there by Johansson, and we'll get the whistle. 10:26 remaining in the second period. The Wildcats are now trailing 2-1 on Watson Enbach's power play goal. Faceoff will be to the left of Johansson. Washed out the draw here will be Tommy Apap. Odessa coming into this contest just winners of one game in their last 12. They're 1-9-2 in their last 12, and they've been outscored 49-23 in their last 10 games. This is the last ranked defensive team in the North American Hockey League, and the Wildcats only have 13 shots on goal. This is a team that averages a league high, almost 40 shots on goal a night to the Wildcats. Here's Stop. Looks to ramp it down low, but this one will get over the glass, and the faceoff will come into the neutral zone. 10:14 remaining in this second period. The Wildcats trailing 2-1, and they did not score the first goal, and they were not leading after one period of play, which are usually good barometers for the Wildcats' success. 10-1-0 when scoring first. Conversely, 2-3-0 when not getting the game's first goal. We'll see which one of those will have a number added to the column, as this is Beaulieu in front looking for Stop, now forced towards the corner. Beaulieu, nice job to shield off the check. It's played into the middle. Trent Williams couldn't corral cleanly, as it's Kuzmeski playing catch with Falconer. Kuzmeski once more. Let's step in front of him and played it up ahead to an unaware Apap. It's sent right back up the ice. Lum touched it along for Williams, trying to get a little too fancy. Couldn't get his way around Falconer. As Staub chops at this one and got it along to Kuzmeski. Here's Shane Kuzmeski. Chicago area native works this one up ahead. Trying to lunge at this is Colin Staub. Here's Staub with a step. Staub with a shot looking for the short side, and it floated just wide of the cage. Beaulieu hacks it back down low. McLean the first to it here for Odessa, as Staub is in on an aggressive forecheck. Bump back behind. First to it here is Christian Hausinger. Christian will look to move it ahead at the red line. Now at the blue line. Here's a slap shot from Lum. Off a leg, goes wide. Kuzmeski the first to it here. Chopped it along for Sherazin. Sherazin's pass. Edman hits Albrecht in stride. 2-on-1. Here's Albrecht cutting in front, and he couldn't pull the trigger on a good back check there by Jake Hamilton. Sent towards the front of the net. He wasn't able to corral it, was Sherazin. So now moving forward and sending this one into the catching glove of Austin Shaw was Jake Hamilton. Check that, make that Chad Gadarian. 8:54 remaining in the second. Albrecht raced in down the right wing wall. Went forehand, tried to go backhand, but then couldn't pull the trigger after he had done the hard part and gotten Johansson down on his belly. Good back check by Jake Hamilton to keep him from getting that shot away. 8:54 remaining in the second period. 2-1 is the score in favor of Odessa. I mentioned the Wildcats numbers when they score first. Conversely, Odessa, when they're on the board first, they are 3-3-1. Here's the other thing to watch out for with the Jackalopes. They're a real two-headed monster. Kenny Hausinger and Derek Brown account for a large share of this offense. And the Jackalopes' only 5 wins this year have come in games when they both get points. They have not picked up one quite yet, either of those two, although both of those guys have 2 goals and 3 assists against the Wildcats in 2 meetings this year. Faced off to the left of Shaw. One back to the point here as Hamilton walks it towards the middle of the blue line. Hamilton loading, shot blocked down in front. Farmer kicks it away and will retreat behind the safety of Austin Shaw's cage. Fought through a stick check of Chad Gadarian. Pass up the ice hits Sherazin. He'll have to check back for it. Now through the middle looking for Albrecht, and just getting a stick in the way there was Ian Mansfield. Mansfield clumsily moves it forward off to the right wing side. Shot saved and held here by Shaw. Then he takes a stick up high in the face mask from Ian Mansfield. Now there's a little bit extra. Shaw looks fine. 8:31 remaining in the second. Wildcats trailing 2-1. Wildcats are not playing at their best. Coach LaFontaine frequently calls it poke and go hockey, and we've seen some of that from some players in the first, give or take, 30 minutes or so. We'll see if they can get everyone back to finishing their checks, playing hard in the defensive zone, and allowing that to generate offense instead of trying to leak out for odd man rushes and breakaways. Loading a shot. It's a one-timer, blocker save, follow-up chance, and Brown didn't pull the trigger. And another look to the short side, and Shaw knocks this one away. Served up the near side boards. Litviak pokes at it, but can't get it out of the zone, as this is Juntilla playing it only as far as Litviak. Banked up ahead. Yeager will hustle after this one. He'll do just enough to negate the icing here, as here is Faulkner under some trouble with Yeager. Yeager lost an edge. On the forecheck, here's Litviak in the near side corner. Oakley comes along to support as Oakley and Litviak are trying to dig this one free for the Cats. Oakley down behind the net. Chips off to the far side corner. Litviak look to go up to the point and does. Cherniak towards the net. In front, and a point blank save on the pad by Johansson on Oakley. Here's Yeager behind the net. Oakley coming along. That was a grade A look. Here's Yeager in front. Trying to cover up was Johansson. Puck is still loose, and this time Johansson will cover up after. Oh, now we're going to get some extras as Yeager went tumbling in on top of Faulkner. Soji gets involved as well, as does Derek Brown. Wildcats had a grade A look to tie this one up at 2 apiece, but somehow Oakley wasn't able to elevate it from 5 feet away, if that. Great save by Johansson, though. He's made a couple of big ones, and that's kind of the trend for Robin Johansson. When he gets wins, he has 3 on the year. He's made 40-plus saves in 2 of those 3 wins, so he's being made to work, that's for sure. That said, though, the Wildcats only have 14 shots on goal, and we're over halfway through this contest. Perhaps a bit energized to return home are the Jackalopes. This is only their 3rd game at the Ector County Coliseum, as washed out of the draw was a Jackalope skater. Face-off held in by the Wildcats. It's rattled back to the point, but then Falconer chips it down low. Rattles off the boards, circles around, and picked up here by Odessa. Walks and Enbach has it. Now Subri tries to chip it towards the front, but first to this one here is Andrew McLean. Yeager gets 2 minutes for slashing. Derek Brown gets 2 minutes for roughing. Those cancel out as trying to walk towards the front of the net there were the Jackalopes in the form of Derek Brown, rather Rasberg, as this is Subri chipping this off the boards and down after gaining the red line. 7 minutes even remaining in the second. Lazarus pokes at this one, slashes a stick out of the hand of a defenseman. No call coming. Lazarus lucky on that one. Off to the far side, here's Reisinger. Couldn't get it all the way up to the point. Looking to bring it forward, here's Watson Enbach. Has Rasberg in the middle. He'll chip it off to the far side and go in pursuit. Falconer has some trouble as he tries to dig that one along for Kuzmeski near side. Now Kuzmeski has it, flips it back whence it came, and Subri has it on the far, rather Lazarus has it on the far side half wall. Reisinger couldn't control that saucer pass at hip height. It's Jake Hamilton in his own zone for Odessa, serving it back to the near side, where Valamont will look to lumber up the ice. He'll gain the red line. Wraps hard around the boards, hits the kick plate, and caroms all the way off to the far side, where Leo Lum is put under pressure by Falconer. Lum trying to spin away. He'll send it down low for Baranek instead. Baranek fights through the check of Falconer, sends it in front, all the way up to the point, and Valamont, his shot blocked there by Staub. Valamont gets it right back. Shot, still loose. Where's the puck? And finally, it squirts off to the far side. Beaulieu clears, but not out, but Staub will follow up and chop it to the neutral zone. Valamont gets it right back for the Jackalopes, sends it all the way in. Falconer can't win that battle with Lum. It's in front. Baranek couldn't pull the trigger as Falconer will chip this one off the boards. It will come up short of icing as the Cats get a much-needed change on. 5:45 remaining in the second period. Valamont Gets it back from Hamilton and now looks to come up the middle of the ice. Has Staub in front of him. He'll get to the red line, and for the third time this shift, he'll wire it around the boards. Cook the first to it here for the Wildcats. Sheridan left it there for Farmer as Farmer brings it up the ice with Staub. Could be a 3-on-2. Here's Staub. Draws for Sheridan. Sheridan holding. Sheridan still shot. Save there. Rebound is knocked away. Delayed penalty upcoming. Puck loose near side. Sheridan jams for it. Where's the puck? Still it's not loose. Still we get no whistle on the delayed call. Finally, someone touches up, and we get the whistle out of Mayhem in front of the net. Tripping call upcoming. Hauled down from behind as he was pulling the trigger was Kevin Sheridan. So now taking the lonely stroll over to the sin bin is Hampus Shodal. So the Wildcats 0 for 2 on the power play thus far tonight. Will get their third crack at it. 21.1% on the year of the Wildcats entering tonight's contest, and recently they've been very good. 11 for 36 in their last 7 games. Off the face-off. Now it's a foot race shorthanded. Knight hustling back, trying to beat him there, and doing so are the Jackalopes. It's Mansfield walking towards the middle, and a good cancel job there done by Knight as Albrecht comes back and gets it quickly up ahead to Beaulieu. Beaulieu stick handles his way inside Mansfield and now gains his own back along the left wing side. He'll play it off the boards behind the net for Colin Staub. Staub and Albrecht down low there, trying to occupy the same space on the ice. It's Beaulieu on the far side. Thought about playing it to the right point instead. It's Cam Knight. Back to Beaulieu, top of the left wing circle. Down low, Staub tries to sweep it towards the cage, and it floats high and wide. Cam Knight, back to the right point he goes. Knight now towards the middle, holding on it. Wanted a shot, but instead plays to Beaulieu. Quickly back to Knight. Shot through traffic, off the back wall, and somehow Johansson makes the save. He sealed off the right post. Knight shot it off the lively carom off the back wall, and Staub couldn't get a stick to it to direct it home. 4:29 remaining in the second. Wildcats trailing 2-1, but knocking on the door here on the power play, as sitting 2 minutes for tripping was Hampus Shodal. Robin Johansson looking very good in this second period. The Wildcats have made them work more in this second frame than they did in the first, even though they scored their only goal of the contest in that first frame. They trail 2-1. They win the faceoff, however, and are on the power play. Reisinger poking at it as the Cats are trying to get set up on the power play. Reisinger chips off to the far side. Oakley will protect here. Now spins away from the check of Mansfield. Rather, that was Andrew McLean. To a side battle, sees Lazarus send it up to Townsend at the point. Back down for Lazarus at the half wall. Let's spin it down low for Oakley. Oakley shot, scores! Evan Oakley on the power play ties this one up, 2 goals apiece. That's his 5th tally of the year, and we are deadlocked once more. Oakley, that's going to be Oakley from Lazarus and Townsend. Oakley scored short side. It's 2-2, and after he was denied on a point-blank opportunity earlier in this third, he was not going to be denied again. 16-minute mark of the second period. We're all tied up. 2 goals apiece as here is Sheridan gaining the zone. Sheridan walking all the way through, now forced wide as he got to the zone, or to the slot, I should say. Here's Cam Knight towards the net, deflected by Albrecht, and Johansson will swallow it up with a big catching glove. 3:48 remaining in the second period. We are tied up at 2 goals apiece thanks to Evan Oakley's 5th goal of the campaign. That surpasses last year's total, as the assists should go to 22 Lazarus and 21 Townsend. Off the face-off, one back to the point. Albrecht was getting ready to step into a shot, but Knight won it back to Cook. There was a vacant point, so the Cats have to retreat. Knight with a nice little pass gets it along to Albrecht. Here's Albrecht at the right wing circle on his backhand. He'll take it behind the cage now. Albrecht left it there, jamming for it. Farmer on the short side, and Johansson forces it behind the cage. Hamilton turns it over behind the net to Sheridan. Sheridan to the point in Cam Knight, top of the right circle. Now Matt Cook, middle of the blue line. Cook holding towards the net, glove down easily there by Shodal, and he'll move it up ahead. Gadarian gets to the blue line and chips this one in deep. Shaw with some trouble with it there. Cam Knight comes back to help out and seal off Hampus Shodal, who had come in on the forecheck. Cook will be the first one to this one behind the cage. Sheridan chopping at it. It's loose. It's up to the point by the Jackalopes. Back towards the net. Save there. Juicy rebound knocked away to the corner by Shaw. Sent back in front once more, and having his stick tied up there was Alex Alger, and the Cats will regain possession. That's Albrecht. He'll chip it off the boards and come to the bench for a change. 2:40 remaining in the second period. We are tied up at 2 apiece. Townsend intercepts, gains his own. Townsend slap shot that hopefully hit a stick because that one went way wide. Check your radar there on that one, Jake. 2:35 remaining in the second. They say it was deflected, and it's going to be an offensive zone face-off. We'd like to extend a special welcome to you for joining us on this broadcast. Tuesday afternoon hockey here. A special welcome to former Wildcats defenseman Kristaps Bozovic, listening from Finland. Oakley left this one here to Cam Knight off the faceoff, up to the blue line, and Matt Cook settles it on the far side point. It's served down low where Yeager has. Yeager can't control it cleanly, fights through a check, plays to Litviak. Litviak can't pull the trigger as he was checked off it nicely. Now Jesse Gentilla tries to kick it past Yeager. Eric Brown can't reach this one. He'll race Cam Knight to the puck. Knight takes it, retreats back into his own zone, and spins away from the check of Brown. Nice play there by the future Alabama Huntsville commit, who just signed his national letter of intent last night. Yeager swats at this one, but it's touched down by Gentilla, so no hand pass will play on in the last 2 minutes of the second period. Nice job here by Litviak to slow play down. Hausinger gains his own, or tried to, play it along to Gentilla. It was behind him as the Cats pick up the errant pass in the form of Cam Knight. Up ahead to Litviak. He poked it forward, hoping for Oakley. Oakley can't get past Christian Hausinger on the first time of asking. Come along to support. Here's Yeager behind the cage with it. It's served back off to the far side wall. Chipped down low by Kosmeski. Yeager can't reach this one. First along to it here is Andrew McLean for Odessa. McLean will play it back behind for Jake Hamilton. Work quickly along to the far side half wall for Beaulieu. Kosmeski steps down. His shot saved and held by Johansson with 1:23 remaining in the second. 2-2 the score here. Evan Oakley has tied this one up on his 5th goal of the year, a power play tally, the Wildcats' 16th power play tally of the year. Lazarus and Townsend get the assist, and with that assist, Jake Townsend is now the record holder for most career points by a defenseman. Congratulations to Jake Townsend. That's point number 45 on his career. Quick shot right off the draw, easily sticked aside there by Johansson. That passes Brett Morrell's mark, sent right out in front, and Johansson says, "Look what I found," as Beaulieu chipped at it, and it landed right in the glove of Johansson. So Jake Townsend, the elder statesman on this Wildcats defense, he recently became the all-time leader in games played for a defenseman. Now he becomes the all-time leader in career points for a Wildcats defenseman with 45. Congrats to Townsend. Off the face-off. Staub hacks at it. APAP back behind the net as well. In front, Beaulieu loading. Shot saved by Johansson. Puck loose near side. It'll be held in by Townsend off the left leg. Townsend tries to float it towards the net. Got a piece of somebody and goes off to the far side. Beaulieu up to the blue line. Chernyuk back near side. Townsend holding. Back to Chernyuk, middle of the blue line. Chernyuk shot. Goes wide of the cage. Beaulieu follow-up chance. And hitting Johansson square in the chest with the shot. Here's Staub. Turnaround shot blocked. Buck loose there in the right face-off circle. Nice stick here by Staub. He'll take it away from Jake Hamilton. Hamilton can't win this battle. Staub hooks it down low for APAP. In front, Beaulieu. Staub scores! Colin Staub picks up his 4th goal of the year. Great shift by that unit, and they get their reward. It's 3-2. Staub kept the forecheck working. APAP and Beaulieu combined to set him up in front. It's 3-2 Cats. 34.1 ticks remaining in the second period, and how big a goal might that be? Off the face-off, Subri fights through a check, but couldn't get there at the last second. Stepping in front was Trent Williams, and he'll play it in deep. Play it up the ice, Lazarus. Go to Beaulieu and Tommy APAP. Point number 14 on the year for Staub on his 4th goal. Point number 13 on the year for APAP on his 11th assist, and 17th point on the year for Beaulieu on his 8th assist. Sent in front by Lazarus, looking for a sprawled out Risinger as Matt Cook gets involved on the forecheck, and there's the horn to end an eventful second period of action. Up and down the ice we went. Jackalopes had some good looks, but the Wildcats responded very well in the closing stages of this second period. We'll break it all down on the other side of the break, and we'll have our interview with Coach LaFontaine from yesterday evening. That's all ahead on the intermission report. Don't go anywhere. Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing will continue just after the break on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. To the scoreline here through 40 minutes of hockey at the Ector County Coliseum. Ben Horner with you as Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing continues on a Tuesday matinee performance here in Odessa. It is school day with Slapjack, the Odessa Jackalopes mascot, as the Wildcats hold a 3-2 lead thanks to goals in that second period from Evan Oakley, his fifth of the year, and from Colin Staub, his fourth of the year. And interestingly, on Staub's goal, that is his first point of the year away from the K. Yeager Coliseum. It also happens to be Colin Staub's 20th career point in 23 games played against the Odessa Jackalopes in his career here with the Wildcats, but that's a little more inconsequential than the fact that Colin Staub had gone 17 games, or better part of 17 games without picking up a point on the road, although it must be said the Wildcats' home schedule has been a bit heftier than the away slate in the early stages of this 2014-15 season. Well, I mentioned in that second period that the Wildcats were going to look to get away from the poke and go and get back to working on the forecheck, and that's exactly what they did in that second period, especially in the closing stages. That third goal to take the lead from Colin Staub was born out of pure hard work, grit and determination by Staub, Apap, and Bolio to keep the forecheck working, keep the pressure on, and eventually they got a chance. Staub was not going to miss as he waited for Johansson to sprawl down onto his belly and then slammed it into the back bar to make it 3-2. And of course, I talked with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine last night about the need to control the tempo against a speedy Jacks team, and here's what he had to say and a little bit more. Now is Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine as the Wildcats look to continue their winning ways with a one-game swing against the Jackalopes here today. A Tuesday morning affair, John. But before we start talking about this game against the Jackalopes, let's flash back a week and what we learned from the Wildcats' 3 games against the Amarillo Bulls. The Cats came out winners in all 3 of those contests, but it wasn't always the easiest.
I thought each game got tougher, Ben, and maybe I thought we played a team that was really focused on stopping us offensively. Really got any odd man rushes. They were 3 and 4 men back at their blue line, making it tough to generate much, and they were really tough to play down low. We really couldn't get any low play game established against them. So it was a good challenge for us, and I think our guys probably thought it was going to get easier each game, and it got harder. But very happy with how our guys stayed focused and still played hard and played good defensively.
Something to be said, John, for the term finding ways to win, and that's what it seems like this Wildcats team was able to do this past weekend. Saturday, that 3-0 win was a very composed performance from start to finish. Friday as well, a fairly controlled game for the Wildcats. But that game on Tuesday, where they were up 1-0 heading into the third period, but really had to work and struggle through a couple of low points in that third period to find their way into the win column that night. What kind of value does it give to a young team, especially like this, and baptism by fire, so to speak, and finding ways to win games when you're not playing your best hockey?
Well, I give our guys credit. The Tuesday game was a unique game in that we really got outplayed and outshot in the first period. Of course, took some penalties, and they got a player back, the Emmanuelson defenseman, that made a difference on their power play. And they got a lot of shots on their power play in that first. And really, if it wasn't for Austin, could have had a 1 or 2 goal lead after the period. I felt pretty zero in that period. And then the next 2 periods we outshot them and took the game to them more, stay out of the box. Going into the third with the 1-0 lead, felt somewhat comfortable with the way we were playing. And just with about 5-10 seconds, all of a sudden we're down 2-1. Our guys didn't panic. Those goals were just a couple of turnovers by some players that have been playing very strong for us. You don't expect Austin Borleo to pass it right onto their player's stick. I give that kid credit. He was just sitting there waiting for it and jumped. And initially, when watching it the first time, I thought that our defenseman should have been able to read that. But when you watch it again, you realize that they were both in good position, just coming up to the blue line. And this guy caught it full speed, full stride, going the other way, and catch him. The turnover in front of the net for their second goal about 5 seconds later. But our guys didn't panic and kept plugging away. And one of the players that has been really, really strong for us the last week and a half here, Austin Albert, made a really nice play and then found some space in front of the net and thought Derek Yeager made a really good play. Just a nice pass for him to tie the game. That was a key part of the game right there.
That has kind of turned into this unit of Lazarus on the left, Albrecht on the right wing. Both guys playing their offhands, but that has seemed to work for that unit with Yeager in the middle there. What have you seen from Albrecht over the last month or so? Because he has been very hot. He's got 5 points in his last 6 contests as Austin Albrecht. What changes have you seen from the way he's approaching his day-to-day work and the way he's getting ready for games that has translated to this uptick on the ice for him?
Austin has worked hard from day one, and he's got some speed and he's strong on the puck. And I think he's just gained. He's just gained confidence. For him, it was figuring out the defensive responsibilities and figuring out that part of the game and adjusting to the speed. But see, he's got confidence now. He wants the puck, and it doesn't take him much to get to top speed. And we've noticed between him and Farmer and some of our guys that have that extra fourth gear, I'll call it, with speed, caused the other team some havoc. And when Austin is using that speed, especially when he's using it to drive the net, he's a force, and he's tough for the other team to handle. And he's been doing that, and he's been playing really strong with the puck, not turning the puck over.
Our attentions to this game ahead, John, as the Wildcats will take on the Odessa Jackalopes. A rare 11 a.m. start time. Kind of throws things off schedule a little bit, but nothing we can't adjust to here at the Wildcats. Let's take a close look at this Odessa Jackalopes team. It's a Jack squad that beat the Wildcats 4-3 in the opening game. Had a fairly solid September, but since then, it's been all downhill for the Jackalopes. They have one win in their last 12 games. They just lost 6-1. With that said, what do you expect from this Odessa squad?
In all honesty, I thought their record right now would be above 500, especially the two games that we've played them early. You know, the first game of the year, they beat us, and they were really tough to handle. Their speed is something that you have to respect. And then we were playing some really good hockey when they came in our building again, and got down in that game twice and found a way to come back and win a shootout 8-5. And they've just been, I don't know if it's because we don't match up with them. Sometimes you have teams that, you say, oh, why aren't they, why isn't their record better? Why do we struggle with them? We just struggle. We don't match up with them very well. We've had a tendency to kind of play what we call some poke and go hockey, where we're not playing defense first. We're letting guys get behind us. They like to shoot their wingers or their top forwards, and they'll go full speed right from the breakout and cause us some havoc with keeping them in front of us. They seem to get a couple breakaways a game on us by cutting through the middle, cutting through our D. They gave us trouble in defensive zone where they kind of disappear and then show up, and we just didn't do a very good job of marking our men. So hopefully, that we're going to be better against them and shut them down.
Breakaways there. Odessa really does like to stretch the game end to end and kind of turn it into a track meet. They have great team speed, and I would say the Jackalopes might be the only unit in the South Division that might have a faster overall level of team speed than the Wildcats. How do you keep your players from getting sucked into that track meet? How do you go about controlling the tempo?
Well, we got to keep those two forwards that like to stretch, keep them in front of us. We can't be trying to pick off passes and taking chances with them getting behind us. We got to keep them in front of us, and we're going to try a different system in the mid zone so that we can just do a better job of hopefully slowing them down and plugging up the mid zone a little bit more. Hopefully that will work. And we know how deadly they are. They're really strong on the power play, so we've got to stay out of the box.
One last note here, John. The Wildcats have affiliated Konstantin Chernyuk for tomorrow's contest, today's contest, as you're listening to this one, in the first period of the Wildcats game between the Cats and the Jackalopes. What do you look for in an affiliate player? This is the second person that the Wildcats have brought in as an affiliate player, C.J. Dodaro, a couple of weeks ago. What do you look for in an affiliate player, but more specifically, what do you look for in a defenseman?
Excuse me. You're looking for these kids that how quickly can they adapt and come in and play team hockey with our guys and adjust to that speed and quickness, and are they smart enough? And CJ was phenomenal. We were ecstatic with him, and just a smart hockey player that's strong on the puck and for his age showed that he's more than ready for this level, and we're very excited about him. And Constantine is similar as a defenseman, really strong, big kid that is a little younger than CJ. That you can see he's got some really good skills. looks like he's got ice and well. So this will be kind of trial by fire for him. We'll throw him right into the fire against a quick, fast team. I think we're going to get a good read on
A 1998 birth year, most recently with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights 16U squad of the Atlantic Youth Hockey League. Already committed to the University of Maine Black Bears as a 98. That's no small feat. Black Bears usually don't commit to kids too early up there in Bangor. The one final note, John, that you just touched on there is the speed. It's obviously a speed adjustment coming up from the midget minor or even midget major level to level. We've talked about that a lot in regards to the Wildcats' young defensive core. So it'll be really interesting to see how Cherniuk fits in a faster league against one of the faster teams. John, thanks so much for your time, and as always, we'll be back with more Wildcats hockey just after this.
Thanks, Ben.
Quick note on Cherniuk before we wrap up the intermission here. It's been marshaled minutes for Cherniuk, but he has been playing along with Jake Townsend very nicely, and that's a smart pairing by the Wildcats coaching staff. Make the new guy play with the most elder statesman on the defensive core. He leads the Wildcats franchise in career games played by a defenseman, and now with that assist in the second period on Oakley's goal, he is the career leader for points by a defenseman, is Jake Townsend. So he's putting in a solid shift tonight alongside Konstantin Cherniuk. We'll step aside momentarily. When we come back, we will have the third period of action here from the Ector County Coliseum. Will it be decisive? Stick around to find out on the other side of the break. Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing rolls on in just a moment on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Third period, straight ahead from the Ector County Coliseum. Wildcats lead 3-2 over the Jackalopes thanks to second period goals from Evan Oakley and Colin Staub. Nick Farmer has the Wildcats' other tally. Can they hold on to this lead? The Wildcats, when they are leading after 2 periods of play, are 9-1-0 with the sole blemish coming against the Minnesota Magicians back in Blaine. Conversely, the Jackalopes 1-11-0 when trailing after the second. The Wildcats look much better in the latter stages of that second period, playing good, aggressive, physical hockey in their own offensive zone. We'll see if they can keep that trend going and try and take some of the speed and suffocate some of the life out of this Jackalopes attack here in this third and potentially final frame. Cats will move from right to left. That's P to Q across your keyboard. Coming back the other way are the Jackalopes. Q to P across your keyboard. As the puck is down, we are underway in the third period, brought to you by American Classified, as Farmer will gain the zone. Has it sticked away from him and sends it towards the net. Sheridan couldn't reach this one, and Odessa will look to bring it forward. That was Leo Lum giving a good hard hit there by Albrecht. This will not be icing here as the puck is loose at the side of the net. Two players cancel out. Krasnichuk sees fit to let this play continue. Here's Albrecht. He'll gain the zone. Onside play. Albrecht on his backhand. Shot saved and easily held there by Johansson. One gives a little stick there to, I believe that was Kevin Sherazin. Wildcats will have an offensive zone faceoff coming 28 seconds into this third period as they're looking to make it a decisive third period here in Odessa. Ben Horner with you on not on Fast Hockey this day, as we appreciate your patience as we work through some internet issues in the first period. Glad we were able to get the second and now third period on the air for you here as Beaulieu returns for APAP, and he sent it just wide of the cage. Great setup there between Beaulieu and APAP. APAP, turn provider, looking to get his goal there, but he couldn't direct it behind Robin Johansson. Neutral zone. Stop at his own red line. He'll send it in deep. Beaulieu will win the race to this puck. He's tied up, however, and will try to kick it along for APAP. Couldn't do so. Jake Hamilton. Rather, this is Valamont. He'll play it along as the Jackalopes gain center ice, and now the offensive zone. Here's Kenny Hausinger, fed towards the middle. Puck loose, sticked away here. Trying to settle it are the Jackalopes, but it's Cook intercepting, ladling it up ahead to Staub. Here's Staub one-on-one. Cook getting back in the play. Here's Staub holding, shot, save, rebound. Still loose there. Staub can't hook it back to Cam Knight, who was collapsing down, but now it's Yeager with a shot save. Puck loose. Staub once more and another save. Puck still loose, and somehow it doesn't go. Sent towards the middle. Here's Oakley holding, shot saved and held by Johansson. And are you kidding me? Robin Johansson. As I glance to my left and look at Joey Batano, the Jackalopes broadcaster, will look at disbelief on everyone's face in the press box. No idea how that puck didn't wind up in the back of the net, but the Jackalopes are thankful it did. 18:33 remaining in the third period. Cats have an offensive zone faceoff coming to the left of Johansson. Played right on the cage of Johansson. He'll easily kick this one away. This is played all the way down, no icing here. Townsend will have to hustle back here. He goes in awkwardly to the boards as Watson Enbach rode him in hard. Yeager back there to support as well. It's chipped loose. Watson Enbach worked it loose. It's loose in front. They score! Alex Alger ties this one up, 3 goals apiece. I thought Watson Enbach could have been given a penalty after he took Townsend down from behind, but we're back to even. It's 3-3. So, after the Wildcats had a plethora of great opportunities to extend their lead to 4-2, we're back to level pegging. 3-3 the score here at the Ector County Coliseum. It looked like the Wildcats had that situation under control, and then Townsend either lost an edge or had some help getting down to the ice from Watson Enbach, and it was sprung loose in front of the net. No one picked up Alex Alger as he collapsed down the slot, as Lazarus will gain the zone here. Here's Lazarus. Gets it back from Reisinger. He can't win the race to this puck. It's behind the net and skitters along to the near side corner. Here's McLean under pressure. Lazarus has it. Lazarus looks to tie this one up and let Subri come along to help out. Behind the net with it and into the corner. The Jackalopes chip this one into the neutral zone. Cherniuk loved it down but couldn't settle, as this is wrapped all the way around the boards by Christian Hausinger. Townsend the first to it here for the Wildcats, as we are right back where we started. We are even up, 3 goals apiece. Lazarus punches this one forward into the offensive zone, comes to the bench for a change as Schodal ramps this one along behind for Christian Hausinger. Back to the near side in the corner for Soji, turned over. Here's Sherazin. Now it's Farmer. Farmer on his backhand, played in front, looking for Reisinger or Sherazin on a deflection, as this is Cam Knight as it went all the way off to the far side half wall. Knight can't hold this one in. Chipped up high, now it's a foot race. Here's Gadarian, Cook the only man back, saved by Shaw, and he'll cover the rebound, and we'll get a quick whistle as some extras will brew out of this one. Krasnichuk lost sight of the puck, even though it was sitting right to the left of Shaw's cage. The net was knocked off its moorings anyway. Big save there on Chad Gadarian after he had gotten a step on Matt Cook. 17:01 remaining in the third. 3-3 the score now after Alex Alger picked up his 5th goal of the year. Over 2 minutes into this third. Late change is allowed. Faulkner loading shot, pulled it well wide of the cage. Off the back wall, caroms all the way up to Soji at the left point. Towards the net, deflected in front, blocked down as Farmer plays it off to the near side. Sherzin plays it up ahead to Albrecht. Albrecht has Farmer streaking towards the middle. It's in front and Farmer just couldn't get there. Then he hit it off the outside of the cage on a follow-up attempt. Here's Jesse Gentilla. Matt Cook stepped down along the wall and trying to hold this one in, but not able to do so was Sherzin. Kenny Hausinger, Derek Brown in the middle. Here's Kenny Hausinger, and a good play there by Cam Knight to direct that puck away to the back wall. Matt Cook getting back involved, trying to keep his stick free. It's Jesse Gentilla along to Kenny Hausinger. Up to the blue line. Faulkner back to Hausinger. Back to Soji, right point. Slap shot, save, and Shaw fights it off through a deflection. 16:25 remaining in this third period. We are tied up 3 goals apiece. Alex Alger at 1:46 of the third from Rasberg and Christian Hausinger. Stop will be to the left of Austin Shaw. Played behind the net. Here's Colin Staub looking to start out. Has some trouble with it. Still under pressure. He'll reach for it, lunges at it, but can't get the puck out of the zone. Wrap back to the near side. Bolio will give pursuit here as Hamilton serves this back down low. Guderian first to it here. Falconer ties him up. Puck still loose behind the cage. This is Shodal. Ampish Yodal. Shodal will play it into some space for Ian Mansfield. Mansfield walking up the far side half wall, getting hacked at there. It's served back down low, however. Back to Hamilton. His shot deflected, and Kosmeski forces it up to the point. Slap shot wide of the cage. Shaw was watching that one all the way. Bolio can't get the puck out of the offensive zone. Out to the far side, played towards the middle. Stepping on the puck was Apap, but he was able to get it to the neutral zone as the Wildcats are able to start up a change here. As this is Valamont playing it farther along for Guderian. Guderian slap shot easily saved and held by Austin Shaw. We'll get another whistle. 15:29 remaining in the third period. The Wildcats tied up with the Jackalopes 3-3. They had a 3-2 lead entering this third period. Alex Alger off a breakdown in the defensive zone for the Wildcats. No one tracked him back. I'd like to watch play of that again. I don't believe the Cats were going off on a change, so someone just wasn't quick enough to tie Alger up in between the hash marks, and that's about the easiest goal that he's going to score. It was behind Austin Shaw before he could even react. This one almost turned over to Williams in the high slot, but it skitters to the neutral zone. Just onside was Leo Lum as he had gotten back to the blue line. He'll wheel through the middle of the ice and curl up towards the offensive zone. Litviak does just enough to disrupt that play as behind the cage with it, here's Jake Townsend. Townsend, nice little head fake there. Now we'll play it up to Litviak. Litviak at the right wing wall. He'll gain the offensive zone. Here's Litviak. Tries to get around Andrew McLean. Awkwardly into the board goes Litviak and McLean as the puck is still loose on the far side corner. Chopped at. It's lost in some skates. Here's Litviak. Can't work it free to a teammate. Yeager has it, however, and he'll play it back down low. Off the skates of the referee. Litviak. Puck loose near side. Townsend had it taken away from him by Oakley, but now Yeager is the first back to it. Chernek towards the net, wide of the cage. Follow up all the way off to the far side half wall. Good hold in here by Oakley towards the net, off the glove, and picked up here by Litviak. Litviak behind the net, looking to set up in Gretzky's office. Litviak in front, shot! Oh, and a great save there by Johansson, and it went just wide of the post. That was coming off the stick of Oakley. Litviak behind the net once more. Looks to play up to the point for Townsend. To the middle of the blue line. Slap shot blocked down in front there, coming off the body of Matt Baranek. This sent all the way down and should go for icing, and it will. 14-11 remaining in the third period. Robin Johansson keeping his team in it in this third. We are tied up at 3 goals apiece, but were it not for Johansson, it could have been 4-2 in the early stages of this third, and could have been another goal there. Oakley, third grade A look he's had tonight. Second time he has been robbed point blank. Subri will take the draw for the Wildcats to the right of Johansson off the icing. It's loose here in the circle and played back down behind the net into the corner. Reisinger can't win this battle, nor could Lazarus. Cleared and into the Jacks bench area, and they're going to say that skittered off the glove of Cam Knight. So we'll get a neutral zone faceoff with 14 minutes dead on remaining in this third period. Ben Horner with you on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. All added up, 3 goals apiece thanks to Alex Alger's early period tally here in the third. Clean faceoff win for the Jacks as Soji has this one. Off the stick of a teammate up ahead. That was Alex Alger, and that will negate the icing as now Knight has some trouble keeping his edge. Cook gets a good bump up high as a two-a-side battle will ensue. Cook and Farmer trying to dig this one free. Alzer in there along with Watson Enbach. Watson Enbach with some good pressure on here, as finally it's worked free for Alzer, but a good stick there by Cam Knight will send this one along to Sherazin. Sherazin through the middle for Farmer. Farmer back for Albrecht. Albrecht back for Farmer, and he was tied up. Couldn't get a shot. Oh, and a good save there by Johansson. He wasn't expecting that effort from Sherazin. Into the neutral zone, it works for Matt Cook. Cook quickly up the ice. Easily kicked along here by the Jackalopes. Watson Enbach gains his zone. His slap shot saved there by Shaw, and we will get a whistle. 13:33 remaining in this third period. 3-3 the score. Johansson having some adventures back in his own zone, but the Jackalopes holding firm and rushing in transition as they are wont to do. Face out to the right of Shaw. Gentilla had his stick tied up, couldn't pull the trigger. Reisinger, rather Bolio will grab this one. Comes away to the near side wall. Apap has it in the neutral zone, chips it off the wall and goes in after. Johansson steps down from his cage and plays it behind. In front, here's Apap up to the point, and Kosmeski now. Loading, shot blocked off a sprawled out Kenny Hausinger. Brave block there as it's Bolio behind the net. Stub again, and he couldn't pull the trigger as Gentilla had tied him up on a good legal back check. Gentilla, a natural defenseman here, as this is Kuzmeski. He'll chip it down, looking for Staub in the corner. Staub and Apap below the goal line. Staub for Apap once more. Nice work by Apap here, up to the blue line for Kuzmeski. Tries to play a pass to Falconer on the near side, fanned on it, squirts to the neutral zone, and the Cats have to recollect. Kuzmeski, ambitious pass, but he found Bolio. Bolio rags at it, tries to play it across the blue line for Kuzmeski as the Cats are in the midst of a change. Kuzmeski chips this one past Hamilton, and now will look to come to the bench for a change as the Cats are trying to complete this unit shift. Played high up off the glass. Kuzmeski tries to put it right back onto the stick of Yeager. Instead, gave it right to Gentilla, who has a step. Here's Gentilla. Shot, save there. Rebound is loose behind the cage. Gentilla first onto this one. Up to the blue line. Sent right back down low, but Matt Cook intercepts and will look to start the breakout. Here's Matt Cook off to the near side for Oakley. Oakley has it sticked away from him as now the Cats have to get back in position. Gentilla, this will be an offside play here. Shodal has to let it go. That allows Cam Knight to grab, and he'll look to play it up ahead. Thought about a pass to Oakley instead to Litviak through the neutral zone. He'll gain the offensive zone. Here's Litviak. Litviak stick handle. Now to Oakley. He couldn't pull the trigger. It was lost in his skates. Hausinger has some trouble with it there. Back behind the net, it's Oakley. Now it's Litviak. Now to Oakley once more. Behind the cage, here's Yeager. Yeager looking to spin off the check as Litviak is in front. And a save there by Johansson, and we'll get a quick whistle. 11:48 remaining in the third. Some good movement in the offensive zone for the Wildcats, but they still are deadlocked at 3 goals apiece. And I mentioned Litviak. By the way, let's go back to that first period before we were able to get on air. Litviak had a wide open net to shoot at, and somehow, I guess the puck was bouncing, he put it against the crossbar and up and over. Quick shot, blocked here by the Jackalopes. Nice job by Cam Knight to come along and try and hold the zone, but that one was blocked down by Guderian. Guderian tries to fight through the check of Matt Cook, can't do it. Nice job here by Cam Knight to roll Mansfield off it. Albrecht will poke at this one and get out of the zone. Sherazin to his left. Here's Albrecht on his backhand. He'll put on the brakes, now take it towards the corner. Sherazin is tied up, can't work his stick free, and the Jackalopes regain possession, but Farmer, nice intercept here at the blue line. Couldn't direct it to a teammate, however. Here is Mansfield trying to gain the zone in doing so. Mansfield holding on it, plays it towards the middle. It was spiked back towards the corner. Townsend gives him a good hard bump. It's up to the wall. Softly towards the net, sticked away there as swooping down from behind the net was Rasberg as everyone was caught unaware. Soji in the neutral zone. Shaw has some trouble with this one. Didn't like who was coming in hard on the forecheck, Watson Enbach, and served it right back into play as this is Apap trying to work it free with Chernyuk along there. 10:45 remaining in this third period. Here is Townsend in his own defensive zone. Newly minted career leader in points by a defenseman. Did Apap get a stick to it? Yes, he did. That will negate the icing as here is Staub on the near side wall. Beaulieu, nice collect there and will play it behind. Apap was run off it as he tried to reach that puck as now it's left behind along the kick plate here, but stepping free, here's Alzer. Up the boards. Into the neutral zone they'll come. Looking to swerve it forward, here's the Jackalopes. That was Rasberg. He'll chip this towards the corner. Derek Brown tied up here. Townsend is able to work it along for Apap, and he'll get it right back. Townsend, nice little fishy pass along to Apap with Staub to his right. Here's Apap. Tries to hit Staub, but it was deflected at the blue line. The Cats are in the midst of a change, as looking to dump this one in deep was Rasberg, as Odessa wanted to change as well. 10 minutes bang on in this third period. We're tied up 3 goals apiece. Here's Derek Brown. Pressed into the wall here, but not before he worked it to Kenny Hausinger. Hausinger has it skitter off his stick, and Falconer will play this one along to Reisinger. Here's Reisinger gaining the zone. Has Subri dropping on a trailer. Reisinger's shot glove save there by Johansson, and we'll get the whistle. 9:41 remaining in the third. 3-3 the score here at the Ector County Coliseum. Ben Horner with you on Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. Wildcats Broadcast Network, the sole way to catch this one here as we enter a media timeout. Let's get you the scoring summary if you're just joining us. In the first period, Ian Mansfield made it 1-0 from Christian Hausinger at 11:51 of the first period. Then Nick Farmer on a breakaway, unassisted, at 16:04 of the first, as he made it 1-1. In the second, Rasmus Watson-Enbach scored a power play goal unassisted as he coasted through everybody. Nobody cared to play defense against him, and he scored upstairs on Austin Shaw. But a late period surge in the second saw the Wildcats take the lead on Evan Oakley's 5th goal of the year, and then Colin Staub, his 4th tally of the season. And that's where we stood entering the third before Alex Alger added his 5th goal of the year to make it 3-3. The Wildcats have had numerous good chances since then, but Johansson has stood firm thus far. Off the face-off in the offensive zone, here's Lazarus. Lazarus tied up on the far side half wall, but it's shifted down low. Reisinger hit down hard from behind. No call-up coming, as this is Derek Brown trying to work it free. Nicely tied up here by Reisinger. Puck is still loose, and Lazarus finally will pull it free. Lazarus, Subri comes along to support. He can't skate through the check as Derek Brown plays this one up the wall to Kenny Hausinger through the middle of the ice. Now Jesse Gentilla. Gentilla stepping past Matt Cook. Gentilla, he couldn't pull the trigger. Matt Cook did just enough to get that one away. Puck still loose. Gentilla trying to turn around, and he couldn't took it towards the net. Shot off the near side, and that one was saved as Hamilton had worked down low. Gentilla behind the net for Kenny Hausinger. Hausinger in front for Brown. Shot saved by Shaw. Cam Knight picks up the rebound. To the near side, Lazarus ramps this one up the glass and into the neutral zone as Hausinger and Brown were giving the Wildcats some trouble on that shift. In his own defensive zone, here's Yeager in the last 8:30 of this third period. 3-3 to score. Ben Horner with you on the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Cam Knight behind his own net. Leo Lum will buzz the cage as Knight looks to come out. Tumbling down to the ice was Trent Williams as Knight will look to gain the blue line. He does. Knight, his shot, blocked. Puck is loose. Still they'll jam for it, and it's lost in the paraphernalia of Yeager. Played towards the middle. Knight holds, shot, caromed around, and Yeager couldn't collect the rebound. Here's Yeager once more to Oakley. His shot swallowed up there by Baranek as this one is chipped out into the neutral zone. Chernyuk chips this one right back in between the blue lines. Bringing it forward, here's Trent Williams. Williams can't get around Chernyuk. Shot towards the net. In and out of the glove of Shaw, and unable to bang it home there was Matt Baranek. Instead, it's Oakley. Along to Yeager has Litviak to his right. He couldn't reach him with a pass. This one carrying around, and Litviak can't reach the loose puck. As now we'll get some extras. Litviak getting tied up here by Baranek after Faulkner went down hard to the ice. Johansson covered up a loose puck. And Faulkner is in some discomfort here, holding an area of the male anatomy that is very sensitive, shall we say. 7:45 remaining in the third period. 3-3 the score. Tim Falconer helped back to his feet, and he'll gingerly skate off to the bench. I feel for you, buddy. Really do. Face off to the right of Johansson when we get back to play here. No penalties stem from that quite yet anyway. We'll see if Krasnichuk will talk with Shore, the referee. And yeah, they are going to give Litviak a penalty, it looks like. Unless Krasnichuk is talking to his other linesman, try and find out what happened. Krasnichuk having a conversation with Varecha. Greg Gatto, the Jackalopes head coach, wanted a penalty against Litviak. None was forthcoming. Now getting the explanation, and it's not going to be one that he enjoys, I'm sure. Enjoying it even less was Tim Faulkner. Face off to the left of Johansson whenever we get back to it. So they will not give Litviak a penalty. I think that's the right call. Just let that one go with a quick little warning. Face off to the left of Johansson. The Wildcats win this one towards the front of the net. Here's Lazarus with a shot on the backhand. Rather, that was Albrecht, as this one is cleared into the neutral zone by the Jackalopes. In and out of the glove of Andrew McLean. He'll gain the red line and play this one deep. First to it here is Konstantin Chernyuk. Chips it to the near side half wall where Shodal was waiting for it. Sherazin didn't get good D-side position. Now it's a two-a-side battle. Chernyuk fighting through some checks. Here's Mansfield tied up below the goal line. Now it's in front. Shot blocked. Puck still loose. They score. It's Hampus Shodal. The Wildcats weren't hungry enough in their own defensive zone, and the Cats trail 4-3. Hampus Shodal picks up goal number 6 on the air for him. Makes it 4-3. There was a loose puck in front. The Cats couldn't cover up the loose puck, and Austin Shaw has not really been getting a whole lot of help from his defensemen here tonight. So Kuzmeski will chip this one in deep as the Wildcats, who were leading 3-2 at this start of this period and had a lot of great chances, are now trailing 4-3 after some defensive zone lapses. Here's Gadarian chipping it in deep. Shaw the first to it here. He'll play this one off the high glass. That got the protective netting, but Krasnichuk, the referee, didn't see it as Hamilton takes a bump from behind from Beaulieu, but maintains possession. Beaulieu tries to work this one down low for Staub. Instead, it works to the neutral zone, where stepping up there nicely was Kuzmeski as Rasberg was trying to chip past and race in. Shaw the first to it here as he'll step out of his cage. Has some trouble with it there. It's loose in his paraphernalia. Where's the puck? And we'll get the whistle. What in the world was that? 6:23 remaining in the third period. The Cats trailing 4-3. Austin Shaw almost just carried that puck into his own net to make it 5-3. We'll get a face-off coming to Shaw's right. My goodness. Wildcats have to recompose themselves here. Face-off right off the draw. It works its way towards Shaw, and he'll cover up. Back by the Jackalopes. Here's Hamilton at the point. Shot save. Rebound juicy, and just tied up there was Watson Enbach as this is off to the near side. Cook will take this one off the wall and look to play it back along to Oakley. He did find Oakley. Oakley will look to gain the zone. Oakley slams on the brakes towards the middle. It works its way all the way over to Litviak on the far side. Litviak pass is blocked down. Knight with a good skate along the blue line to hold the zone as Litviak gives to Oakley. Here's Oakley's shot. Whistles wide of the cage. Off the boards and all the way into the neutral zone. Cam Knight through the middle of the ice as Oakley will corral and turn up ahead. Here's Oakley. Hauled down, no call-up coming here as he was dispossessed, intercepting his pass and skating it forward with the Jackalopes. That's Jesse Gentilla, rather Rasmus Watson-Enbach, serving it off the left pad of Austin Shaw in the last 5:30 of this third period. Here's Nick Farmer to Austin Albrecht. Albrecht will look to motor ahead. Albrecht slams on the brakes, is run down hard. Farmer towards the net, punched out loose. Here's Kuzmeski with the shot, score! Shane Kuzmeski, his second of the year. And with 5:19 remaining, the Cats tie this one up. Back and forth we go. What a game we have here at the Ector County Coliseum. Kuzmeski raced onto a loose puck and whistled it inside the post. It's 4-4. 5:19 remaining in the third period. We are once again back at evens. 4-4 the score this time. Looking like it might be a case of last goal wins here as Kuzmeski along to Albrecht. Headman pass to Sherazin with a step. Farmer in the middle, and the pass was intercepted. Oh, Sherazin rocked down hard to the ice. Little slow to get back to his feet as he recollects himself and now is back to his feet. Looks a little bit winded as here is Hausinger. He toe-picked as he was trying to gain the zone onside. Pass up the ice. This is through the middle for Sherazin back into the play, and he has it knocked away from him, and he'll tumble down to the ice. Kuzmeski, pass cross ice. Albrecht, nice little stick move here. Then he'll throw McLean down to the ice, but lose possession of the puck. As in the neutral zone, this is Derek Brown. He has some trouble with it. Puck sitting on the Wildcats' offensive blue line. Finally pulled free by Odessa, as this will be brought forward by Hausinger through the middle. He was looking for Gentilla. Will this go for icing? Yes, it will. As they say, Gentilla didn't get a stick to it, and he gives a little extra shove to Shane Kosmeski after the fact. 4:28 remaining in the third period. Matt Cook comes along and says, hey, buddy, please don't do that to my guy. John Tilla having words with Matt Cook, and we'll get an offensive zone faceoff for the Wildcats. APAP will take the draw. Beaulieu will set up right behind him for a quick shot. Clean win by APAP, back to the point and Knight. Knight walks towards the right side. His shot deflecting around there, loose in the crease. Beaulieu couldn't pull the trigger. Stop shot save, Johansson. Here's Cook once more for Beaulieu. He'll chip at it. Cook with a nice glove to hold the zone. This one gets out of play as it didn't reach the high glass. 4:14 remaining in the third, and they'll put the face-off in the neutral zone here. Shane Kosmeski has tied this one up 4-4, and oh hey, some quick hockey news at the NCAA level. Arizona State University has just announced that its men's team will transition from ACHA club to NCAA varsity. Hooked in front for APAP, and he couldn't pull the trigger. Stop in front, save, puck loose, and Johansson covers. 4:05 remaining in the third. Staub has been all over the ice tonight. He's got a goal to his credit, but has not been able to find a second one here in this third period, where we have 4:05 remaining in Odessa. 4-4 the score between the Jackalopes and your Wildcats. Ben Horner with you as Wildcats hockey presented by Armored Roofing enjoys a Tuesday edition. Off the face-off, Cam Knight poked at this one. Now we'll have to hustle back into the zone. Will this go for icing, however? Yes, it will. The Cats will catch a break there as Knight was under pressure just inside the offensive blue line as a couple of Jackalopes hacked at it and it went all the way down the ice. By the way, just quick note before we turn our attention solely to the game at hand here. That's a game changer with Arizona State going varsity, the first college hockey program west of the Rockies, and good luck to everyone else recruiting against Arizona State. Cleared off the draw all the way down. This one rolls up short of icing as Kuzmeski plays it off the outside of his own net. Townsend under some pressure here. Puck loose behind the cage as APAP will look to bring it forward. Sidesteps a big hit, and it got along to Kuzmeski. Up ahead to Staub as Beaulieu gains his own on the left wing. Here's Staub towards the middle. Hooked in front, it was behind Kuzmeski as Lum picks it up and will look to motor forward. Lum will gain the zone. Chips towards the middle. Sidesteps a big hit there. That was coming from Kuzmeski on the back check as Yeager fights through the check and tries to fight through another one but loses possession. Yeager still fighting for it here. Looks like he lost a mitten as well. Turned over, however. Oakley with a quick shot intercepted and looking to skate forward. Here is Mansfield. Mansfield gains a zone. Loses the puck, however, as first to this one is Litviak. Look out. Turned over. Shot off the outside of the cage. Shaw did not know where that was. Wildcats are being far too cavalier in their defensive zone right now. Litviak slings it cross ice into some space. There was nobody there. Nice stick work there by Cam Knight as trying to gain the zone are the Wildcats. Jagadarian. He'll overskate it. And Pishodal has it. He'll serve it around the boards. Off to the far side it goes. Knight bumps with Mansfield. Two-a-side battle may develop here as Farmer gets involved, and it's in the corner once more. Up to the point. Here is McLean trying to walk inside Litviak. He'll chip it past Knight and down behind the cage of Shaw. Cook sweeps this one along to the near side half wall. Christian Hausinger, awkward bounce off a glass support. Cook spikes it right back to the near side wall. Oakley tries to ramp this one off the glass, and he does just enough to get it past Christian Hausinger. Penalty upcoming here against Nick Farmer, however, and it's going to be a boarding or a checking from behind as the Wildcats might have had a 2-on-1. It's a cross-checking call for Nick Farmer. So 2:14 remaining in this third period. We are tied up at 4 goals apiece. The Cats have already given up a power play goal tonight. That was their first power play goal allowed in the last 17 chances over the past 4 games. And boy, do they need a big kill here. Out there on the PKs, Kuzmeski, Beaulieu, Townsend, and Staub. Kenny Hausinger will take the draw against Beaulieu. To the left of Austin Shaw, it's one to the near side half wall as Kuzmeski will clear this one all the way down. Nice play there by Kuzmeski to start this one up. By the way, this might be one of the few games that you'll ever see Odessa out shooting Wichita Falls. Just goes to show you that although numbers are indicators, they are not steadfast. Wichita Falls leads the league in shots on goal, as this is an offside. Beaulieu is set to clear it all the way down the ice anyway. Meanwhile, Odessa is bottom 5 in shots on goal per game. So, Jackalopes out shooting the Wildcats here thus far, with 1:53 remaining in the third, a tie game 4-4, and Farmer in the box. Farmer being in the box is a spot of bother for the Wildcats here, as he is one of their main PK men. Also has the speed to sprint out shorthanded breakaways if that were to present itself, that opportunity that is. Gaining the zone here, the Jackalopes. Here's Soji. Soji walks down the wall, plays up to the point. Slap shot, saved there by Shaw. He didn't see where the rebound went. It went behind the cage. Knight trying to work Derek Brown over behind the cage. Brown protects the puck. Staub takes it away from him. Will step free and will look to gain the red line. Here is Staub 1-on-2 shorthanded. Staub at the right circle. Staub trying to walk all the way around Rap Chance, and he'll draw a hooking call. Very nice play there by Colin Staub. It'll be a holding call as he tried to get the wraparound away. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for a minute for the next minute and 1 second, as it's going to be Andreas Soji who will sit for 2 minutes for holding. 1:14 remaining in the third. Wildcats 4, Jackalopes 4. We're skating 4-on-4. Farmer in the box for the Cats, Soji in the box for the Jackalopes, as this one is played into the neutral zone where Kuzmeski will leave it quickly along for Townsend. Townsend almost toe-picked there, but he'll recover his balance and give it along to Kuzmeski. Up ahead, here's Apap. He'll gain the zone. Chipped out to the neutral ice. Kuzmeski has it here. Waits for Yeager to tag up. Kuzmeski, his shot off a skate and caroms away to the far side wall. Apap involved in a battle there. Yeager gets involved as well. Townsend wants it. He'll get the one-timer deflected and goes up out of play. I think that was deflected off the stick of Christian Hausinger down low. 45.7 ticks remaining in this third. The Wildcats are trying to take advantage of this 4-on-4. Face off to the left of Johansson. They will have about 14 seconds of power play time at the end of this third period after Farmer's out of the box in 31 seconds. Swept down low, bouncing around there. Sharazin got to stick to it, and it skipped just wide as moving the wrong way was Johansson. Here's Mansfield. Good back check or forecheck there by Nikita Litviak. This sent all the way down and should go for icing here, as it will go for icing. We'll get the whistle in the last 26, call it 27 seconds of the third period. 13 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. And wanting a timeout is John LaFontaine. And Kevin Sharazin will call for it, and we'll get the timeout. Ben Horner with you here at the Exeter County Coliseum. We've had a good one here at the Jack Shack on a rare Tuesday morning performance. Wildcats will take their timeout here. 4-4 is the score. Shane Kuzmeski has tied this one up in the third period after 2 early period goals, or rather an early period goal and a goal at 12:45 for the Jackalopes. Made it 4-3 in favor of Odessa. Kuzmeski's second career goal, however, makes it 4-4 at 14:41. As we're skating 4-on-4. Fours are wild, you might say. 13 seconds remaining in that 4-on-4. Then the Wildcats are going to have an abbreviated power play that will last about 13 to 14 seconds, and if it carries into overtime, if the game gets that far, they will carry the penalty over into the extra 5-minute session. But still 27 ticks before we can even think about that. Knight, Staub, Beaulieu, and Cook out there for the Wildcats. And a big important draw to the right of Johansson. False start on the draw, and Spoor will just let everybody reset. No harm, no foul, with a quick word to both. Staub tied up off the draw as the Jackalopes will step away with this one, or they thought they were going to anyway. Here's Beaulieu in the last 18 seconds of the third. Beaulieu spins away with the puck. Cross-ice pass up to the blue line. It was behind the stick of Cam Knight. 9 seconds remaining. The Cats have a very abbreviated power play. They have to hustle here. It's 4-4 in the last few ticks. This sent all the way down the ice after it caromed off the skate. And we will have overtime as Cook's wrist shot from just past the red line is easily into the logo there of Robin Johansson. So the Wildcats and Jackalopes will need an extra 5 minutes here. Cats in overtime are 2-0-0 on the year. Odessa in overtime contests. We'll get to that number in just a second. As we'll step aside momentarily, catch our breath. When we come back, we'll have the overtime session from the Ector County Coliseum. Back here at the Ector County Coliseum, overtime straight ahead. Teams will change ends, so now Shaw is in the cage to my left as the Cats skate Q to P across your keyboard. In the cage to my right is Robin Johansson as Odessa skates P to Q. Wildcats will have carryover power play time. They are 2-0 in overtime this year, have not gone to a shootout. Odessa is 1-2 in games beyond regulation. Overtime loss last Saturday to Amarillo, 2-1. A shootout win against Rio Grande Valley, and then a shootout loss the next night. Wildcats and Jackalopes have not played overtime yet this year. Last year they did in this building, and it was Chase Monroe coming up large in a shootout to preserve the win for the Wildcats. As it will be Beaulieu, Cook, Staub, and Cam Knight to get things rolling for the Wildcats. Out there for the Jacks, McLean, Gadarian, and Christian Housing are here. 45 seconds of carryover power play time. Won by the Wildcats off the draw. Here's Matt Cook skating it slowly forward. He'll wrap this one off the glass, and it caroms its way to the near side. Beaulieu, check that there. Staub, nice play to maintain possession and give to Beaulieu. Up to the point in Cam Knight. Knight at the right point. Cook in the high slot. Cook loading, slap shot off the bar. 4:36 remaining in the overtime. Cook just slammed that one off the crossbar in overtime, and he had Johansson beaten clean. The faceoff is initially signaled for in the offensive zone of the Wildcats. It went clean out of play off Matt Cook's stick, so it should be in the neutral zone here, but they're going to let play proceed with an offensive zone draw for the Wildcats. No harm, no foul here as the Jackalopes have possession, and they'll clear this one down all the way. Shaw steps out of his crease to leave this one along for Matt Cook. 10 seconds remaining on the Wildcats power play in overtime. Then we'll be back to 4 aside. 4:20 remaining in the OT. We're at 4-4 as 60 minutes of hockey wasn't enough to separate these two teams. Cook with a good step down the half wall there, but he couldn't reach the puck. Now it's a 2-on-2 as we're back to 5-on-5. Hamilton's shot save missed the net. I think Shaw might have gotten a shoulder to it. We play on, but now we'll get a whistle as they say that went up and out of play off the shoulder of Shaw. 4:04 remaining in the overtime session. As it'll be a face-off to the right of Shaw. Both teams will get a point here, and what that will do is, at the very least, tie the Wildcats up with the Brahmas for second place in the division once more. Kosmeski chips this one off the wall to Jake Townsend, and Townsend will look to start it ahead. Quick pass up to Farmer as APAP to his left and uses him. It's behind APAP, but with a nice swivel there, he'll play it behind the cage for Farmer. Farmer will protect, leave it there for APAP. APAP, nice job to spin away, but he left the puck behind as he was trying to kick it to himself. As coming along here is Faulkner. Faulkner Pulls it free past APAP, and he'll look to turn up ice in the last 3:35 of the overtime. Here's Watson Enbach. Enbach towards the middle. His shot deflects and goes up and out of play. It's off a Wildcat skater, so the faceoff will stay down low for the Jackalopes. 3:28 remaining in the overtime. 4-4 the score as the Wildcats are playing their third overtime game of the year. Odessa playing in their fourth. Off the face-off, Matt Cook has it, retreats behind the cage of Austin Shaw as Derek Brown will put him under some pressure. Cook steps out and leads it up ahead for Yeager. Nice little drop pass through the wickets to Cam Knight to skate onto. Here is Knight gaining the zone. The top of the circle, his shot saved and held by Johansson, and that'll at the very least give the Cats an offensive zone face-off. 3:07, the clock is still running. Finally it gets stopped. 3:07 remaining in the overtime after a few extra seconds, maybe 4 or 5 at most, tick away from the clock. Face off to the left of Johansson here. Yeager will take the draw as Knight out there with Matt Cook, and Nikita Litviak, the other forward, is off the face-off. It's Valamont softly behind the cage and looking to bring it forward. Here is Hamilton. Hamilton cuts back at the red line. Now looking to gain the zone. He does. Hamilton holds, still holding at the circle. Hamilton, his shot saved there by Shaw. Puck loose behind the net. Trying to dig it free are the Wildcats, and they do so as Litviak will look to motor it ahead. It's into the middle for Yeager. Yeager, offside play here as one last stick handle pulled Litviak offside. 2:41 remaining in the overtime. Shots on goal in the contest, 35-32 according to Point Streak, in favor of the Jackalopes. Big board here at the Ector County Coliseum is showing 36-34 in favor of the Jackalopes. Either way, Staub wins the draw, drops pass. Look out, Townsend couldn't corral this one. Now we'll have to poke it away from Leo Lum, who has a step. Lum at the corner, forced wide here by Kuzmeski. Leaves the puck behind. Ozer shot, save, puck loose. They jam forward, it's still loose, and it's knocked away there by a great stick. Holding the zone here was Christian Hausinger. Townsend chips this one softly ahead for Staub. The Wildcats get by on the skin of their teeth there as Lum had a great look in front and someone got a stick to it. I think it was Staub. Here is Staub in front. Staub, puck loose, and Beaulieu couldn't pull the trigger. In front for Townsend on his backhand, and he couldn't pull the trigger from a knee. What goaltending, what mayhem. 2 minutes remaining in the overtime session. Beaulieu back to the point. Here's Kuzmeski down low for Staub. Staub couldn't handle the pass. Staub tied up here by Andrew McLean. 1:45 remaining in the overtime period. Breathless action here at the Ector County Coliseum as trying to force a turnover was Farmer. He did just enough. Townsend takes it in the neutral zone. Oakley, fresh from the bench, tries to leave it there for Farmer on the wing. Here's Farmer, cuts back. Farmer still holding. Farmer holding still, tries to go through the middle for Cam Knight, and a good stick prevented that one. Oakley in front, he was looking for Cam Knight, and he couldn't pull the trigger as looking to step forward. Here's Lum. Bockert high up into the air, and this one goes out of play with 1:20 remaining in the overtime. Shaw might have just gloved that one and put it right back onto the stick of Townsend. My goodness. What a game we've seen here today. Off the face-off, another clean win by the Wildcats. I'd love to see their numbers in the dot for this afternoon's contest as Cook draws in the pressure, sweeps it quickly along to Cam Knight, who will give it back to Cook, and quickly back to Cam Knight. Knight to Cook, to Knight to Cook, to Knight. Knight gains the zone. Here is Knight putting on the brakes. He'll roll this one off the glass, and it goes behind the net. Falconer tied up there by Yeager. Yeager lost his stick and an edge as we're in the last minute of play in the overtime, brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Knight hustling back after this one. He'll cut towards the middle, has some trouble with it. Puck is loose there, and it's knocked wide. Cook, his clearance was in the body of Krasnichuk, the referee. Yeager will pick this one up. He'll slam on the brakes, lose an edge, regain possession in the last 35 seconds of the overtime. Now it's Matt Cook. Cook along to Yeager. Thought about leaving it for Townsend, but now he'll pick it up and sauce it off to the near side for APAP. APAP shot saved and held here by Johansson. 23.9, call it 24 seconds remaining in this overtime period, and my goodness, both goaltenders have stood on their head in this extra session, and they've gotten some great help from their defensemen on desperate lunges of the stick, sprawling blocks to keep the puck from getting into the offensive zone, or getting into scoring areas, I should say. Wildcats tried to sneak a late change on there. Matt Cook will have to stay out. Not the worst in the world with his offensive ability. He'll play the trailer on Townsend's as the faceoff is won here by the Jackalopes in the last 20 seconds of the overtime period. Here's Lane Valamont. He'll chip this one ahead. Cook will have to hustle back there. Tries to beat Gentilla. Ramps up off the glass. Tied up here is Albrecht. Gadarian tries to feed a collapsing man. Shot wide. Puck is loose at the goal line. Shaw makes the save. We have a whistle. Gentilla was celebrating, and it's waved off with 3.9 seconds remaining in the overtime. I think the net was off its moorings, and they'll redo the face-off. Less than 4 seconds remaining. The Wildcats dodged a bullet there, as now they'll try to win this one towards the corner. It's in front. Look out here. Shot. Shaw makes the save. Puck is loose. He'll cover up and will get the horn to end overtime and will head to a shootout for the first time this year. Wildcats will need a skills session to decide a winner. See who shoots first for the Wildcats in their first shootout of the year, as I was mentioning. Wildcats and Odessa both have a point. What breathtaking action end-to-end in the overtime session there. Townsend from a knee had a chance to beat a sprawled out Johansson. Shaw was sprawled out a few times, and good active sticks in the defensive zone was just enough to prevent Odessa from popping one home in overtime. So Shaw will be in the cage to our right for the shootout. No, reverse that. Shaw will be in the cage to our left for the shootout. Gentilla in the cage to our, Gentilla, Johansson even, cage to our right. Looks like Sheridan will shoot first for the Wildcats. He's missed a penalty shot this year against Amarillo. Let's check that. Shooting first is the home team, and it looks like it's going to be Soji. I'll start once more, so it will be Sheridan shooting first. Sheridan at his own blue line. He'll wait for the whistle from the referee. He'll get it. From the blue line, he'll skate onto this one, now taking it wide. What do we do? Here's Sheridan down the middle. Sheridan holding Sheridan, and a blocker save there. Good save by Johansson, and the Wildcats are turned aside on their first shootout. Reminder, this is best of 5 as opposed to best of 3, as you see in the NHL. So Andreas Soji will come up against Austin Shaw. Slowly down the middle at the left hash mark. Soji hits the bar. We'll do it again in the second round now, and stepping out to shoot is Austin Beaulieu. Beaulieu will step onto this one at the red line. Slowly down the middle, now at the left circle. Here's Beaulieu, and it's saved there nicely by Johansson. So, first 2 shooters for the Wildcats come up empty. Now springing over the boards is Hampus Shodal. Had a goal in that third period. He'll pick it up, slowly skate down the middle. Here's Shodal holding on his shot, scores. Now the Wildcats really need to pick one up here. It will be Matt Cook. Rather, check that. It's Falconer. Falconer, the defenseman, one time forward. Here's Falconer, scores! Good move. Backhand, forehand, ripped it inside the right arm of Johansson. And the Wildcats get an important goal. So now it'll be Kenny Hausinger. Hausinger 0 for 1 on the year in shootouts. Waiting for the referee's whistle. He'll get it. Turns towards the middle, now to the left circle. Here's Hausinger holding. Hausinger, saved by Shaw. So, through 3 rounds, a goal apiece. Farmer will step out there for the Wildcats. He had a breakaway goal in the first period. Right-handed shooting Farmer will skate it down the middle. Slowly, now picking up some speed. Farmer holding, and he scores. What a move. Shot fake. Going for the poke check was Johansson, and Farmer pulled it back and slammed it into the back bar to make it on the shootout attempt. So now Derek Brown steps forward for Odessa. Brown will skate it down the middle on Shaw. Brown holding, stick work, and he scores. So, 2-2 through 4 rounds. Move to the 5th round. Stepping in is Townsend. He's set the record for most career points by a defenseman here this afternoon. He'll skate down the middle. Townsend holding, shot, scores. What a wrist shot. 5-hole. You don't save that one. So now it all comes down to the shoulders of Austin Shaw, who will go against Waxen Enbach. Enbach must score for the Jackalopes to keep this alive. Left-handed shot. He'll skate down the middle. Engbach holding. Saved by Shaw. Into the glove. He'll drop it to the ice and skate to meet his teammates. The Wildcats win in a shootout. What a contest we were treated to here this afternoon. Back and forth we went. It was 3-2 Wildcats, then 4-3 Jackalopes, then 4-4 Wildcats. And in the overtime, after Cook hit the crossbar and Odessa came up empty, we went to a shootout, and that is where Austin Shaw stepped up for the Wildcats. He made 3 saves on 5 shots faced. The Wildcats scored 3 in the shootout to pick up their first shootout win of the year and their first shootout of the year. We'll step aside just briefly, and we'll come back with a quick wrap on this one here from the Exeter County Coliseum. Corner back here with you at the Exeter County Coliseum. We're putting the wrap on this one here as the Wildcats claim a 5-4 shootout win over the Odessa Jackalopes. It was a little nervy at times, but in the end, the 2 points is what matters the most. Let's get you the scoring summary here and some updated totals before we step off air and before the Cats get back on the bus to head back to Witchy. In the first period, Ian Mansfield got things going. The Wildcats had a couple of good looks in that first minute or two of that opening frame. They came up empty, and then Ian Mansfield, on a great give and go with Christian Hausinger, took the puck back, or received the puck back at the right circle in the offensive zone and chipped it under the bar to make it 1-0. Nick Farmer said that was not going to last too long and sprinted away on a breakaway at 16:04 of the first period to make it 1-1. In the second, Rasmus Enbach reclaimed the lead for Odessa. However, that was short-lived after his unassisted power play goal was canceled out by an Evan Oakley power play goal, with assists coming from Lazarus and Townsend, with the assist standing as Townsend's 45th career point as a member of the Wildcats, and that is enough to make him the new franchise leader in career points by defensemen, so congrats to him. Then in the second period, Colin Staub picked up the goal from Tommy Apep and Austin Beaulieu out of some tenacious, persistent forechecking work in the offensive zone by that unit. So the Cats had a 3-2 lead heading into the third period, and it looked like all was on course, especially after they almost made it 4-2 in the first 45 seconds of that frame, but the missed opportunity came back to burn them. Alex Alger scored a minute 46 into the third to make it 3-3, and then Hampus Yodal at 12:45 cleaned up a loose puck and snuck it 5-hole after it was sitting around at the top of the crease. That made it 4-3 Odessa. Shane Kuzmeski answered back less than 2 minutes later as he wristed a wrist shot just inside the left-hand post of Johansson to make it 4-4. Both teams traded chances in the overtime. However, both goalies stood on their heads to turn them aside. We headed to the shootout after Sherazin and Beaulieu missed for the Wildcats, and Soji missed and Shodal scored for Odessa. Falconer, Farmer, and Townsend scored for the Cats, and Hausinger and Rasmus Waxen-Enbach couldn't find the back of the cage past Shaw, and that is where we get our winner. With the win, the Wildcats are now 13-4-0. They have won 5 straight contests and 6 of their last 7. They are also now 10-3-0 in the division. Lost to Jackalopes, dropped to 5-14-2. They are now 4-12-2 in this division. With the win tonight, Austin Shaw will improve to 9-1-0. With the loss tonight, Robin Johansson will drop to 3-8-1. A reminder, our next broadcast will be Friday and Saturday, back to the normal time, 7:05 start time at the K. Yeager Coliseum. I'll have pregame for you from 6:50 on FastHockey.com and the Wildcats Broadcast Network. Reminder, Friday is Hockey Heals Hunger Night for the Wildcats in conjunction with the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank. Any fan who brings 5 items for donation to that night's contest will get in free to that game against the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. We're real excited for the way this food drive has gone. The Hockey Heals Hunger campaign has been a big success for the Wildcats back at the KYC. We have to thank all of our fans for supporting our initiatives here as we try to do our part in the Wichita Falls community, and all of that will come to a head on Friday evening. Remember, 5 items donated, and that equals free admission on Friday. So until Friday evening, I'm Ben Horner for all of us at the Wildcats. Thanks for joining us on this presentation of Wildcats Hockey presented by Armored Roofing. Have a good afternoon, and take care.